So this is 11.1, and we're going to look at an example of a quadratic equation and find the vertex point as well as the axis of symmetry and then graph it. So if you take a look at f of x equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 1. This is my quadratic equation. We need to know first the vertex formula. So vertex formula. So the vertex formula is x equal to negative b all over 2a. So this is a formula that you'll have to memorize. Okay, this tells you the first step to the vertex point. So this solves for the x value needed for the x comma y coordinate point, which is going to be the vertex point. Okay, so that's what I do. So first of all, the first step is to label the constants and so we have a, which is going to be 2, and b, which is negative 4. So that's this part right here. This is the b, this is the a, and so it matches the generic form of f of x equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is going to be the a, and this is the b, and this is the c that we'll use later, but not today. So we just need to know the a and the b, which is 2 and negative 4. So that's our second step, is to put values into the formula. Okay, so that's going to be x equal to negative, b happens to be negative 4, so I'll put that in parentheses because I see that that's going to change it to positive. And then you have 2 times 2 because a is 2. So now I have 4 over 4, which is really 1. So I now know half of my vertex point. So my vertex point is so far 1 comma y. So my third step is to take the x value and put into original equation. So that means I'm going to take this 1, that's x, and go back all the way to putting it into the formula. So that's going to be f of 1, sorry. So that's f of 1 equal to 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 1. So 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, minus 4 plus 1. And so 2 minus 4 is negative 2, and negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Okay, and so now I have my final vertex point is going to be 1 comma negative 1. Now the axis of symmetry, we already found it, we just didn't realize it. When we found this right here, x equal to 1, this is the axis of symmetry. So when we're solving for the vertex point, we already get the axis of symmetry right away. And so here is the axis of symmetry, x equal to y. Remember, axis of symmetry is an equation. It is not a number. So some people do that. They actually do. So if I was to graph this, a nice sketch. So I'll go right here. So here is my sketch. I know my vertex point is 1, -1. So I go 1 to the right and down 1. I know my axis of symmetry is 1, so it's right here. So here's my axis of symmetry. And I also know that back at the original equation that the A is positive. So that means my graph is going upward. And so now this is my lowest point. And so now it does this. And so this has a minimum point, which is the axis of symmetry at 1, -1. And this is what you'd end up doing all the time to graph your quadratic. You always have to show the axis of symmetry, which is not really part of the curve. It's just cutting the graph in half. And then you always have to find your minimum point or maximum point, which is your axis of symmetry.